What's going on, Dolphins fans? Wanted to fill you guys in on this news that just broke. We were finishing recording a video and this news hit, so we still wanted to get you guys the news in this video. So we start today's show talking about Justin Bethel. The Dolphins have made a signing, bringing in Bethel, a 10-year vet in the National Football League. He is a corner. The Dolphins needed some depth at that position with Byron Jones out for at least the first 4 weeks. So they have signed Bethel, which means they currently have seven corners on the 53-man roster. Pretty solid pickup, I think, for the Dolphins. And you know that Blues Clues song that we just got a letter? I'm going to change it to we just got a sinner. We just got a sinner. Wonder who it is. James Empey has been signed to the Dolphins practice squad, a UDFA out of BYU. It's funny, I was actually talking about this guy before the draft, being like, man, this would be a pretty solid 6th or 7th round pick for the Fins. They end up not drafting him. Draft Skylar Thompson instead in 7th round. That worked out. But he gets picked up by the Cowboys as a UDFA. However, he was cut by Dallas on Tuesday, so the Dolphins signing James Empey to the practice squad. And to be honest, he might already be the best center on this roster. So before we know it, he might be playing pretty big minutes on the Miami Dolphins. But those are the moves they just made, signing Empey to the practice squad, signing Bethel to the 53-man roster. Dolphins fans, it's your boy Will Scott here on Dolphins Today, talking about the latest Miami Dolphins news and rumors. Certainly a lot to get to on today's show. Just a day after signing 9 players to the practice squad, 2 days after finalizing the 53-man roster. And a lot of y'all wanted Lynn Bowden Jr. on the practice squad. Hate to break it to you, that's not going to happen. Field Yates said this on Twitter earlier today. The Patriots are signing former Raiders and Dolphins wide receiver Lynn Bowden Jr. to their practice squad, per source. He was one of the most versatile players in the country during his time at Kentucky and was a 2020 third-round pick. My one-word reaction, or I guess two-word reaction to this is just, of course. I mean, of course it had to be the Patriots that sign Lynn Bowden Jr. It's extremely unfortunate. I wish he would have gone to literally any other team in the league, but he's on the Patriots practice squad, and let me tell you, he's not going to be on the Patriots practice squad for very long because that wide receiver room is abysmal. I literally think he could go in and have a pretty big impact to that offense right away. I was very disappointed to see him get cut. I understand why they cut him because there's so much depth at this position, but carrying 5 tight ends and not carrying Lynn Bowden Jr. or River Cracraft was a little bit disappointing. Cracraft is on the practice squad. Lynn Bowden Jr. is not, and he goes to our arch rival in New England. Mike McDaniel was actually asked about, are you worried that he's going to, tell them the playbook? And McDaniel wasn't worried about it. I'm not worried about it as well. But certainly wish Lynn the best, but I wish he would have signed with quite literally any other team. What is your one-word reaction to Lynn Bowden Jr. going to our hated New England Patriots? Go down in the comments section and let me know what is your one-word reaction to Lynn going to New England. Taking a look at the Dolphins wide receiver depth chart, it's still really good. Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, Ced Wilson, Eric Ezukanma, Trent Sherfield. I thought they were going to carry 6 or 7 receivers. They go with 5. But it's the best wide receiver room in the league, not to mention you have Braylon Sanders and River Cracraft on this practice squad. Really solid depth at this position for Miami, which is why they had to part ways with a couple talented receivers, including Lynn Bowden Jr. And again, with how bad the Patriots are offensively, with the weapons they have for Mac Jones, or as I like to call him, Mid-Jones, Lynn Bowden is going to get some playing time there by the end of the season. I can just about promise you that. Now we're in a sub-battle with Seahawks today, and my goodness are we getting close to the Seahawks channel. Go down and subscribe. We're trying to pass them by the end of the Patriots game. So by the end of our live stream, I want to pass Seahawks today next week. Go down, hit that big red subscribe button if you're all about defense. I want to hit on this because David Verone tweeted this out earlier. Andrew Van Ginkel, Eric Rowe, and Clayton Fagellum not seen at Thursday's practice. Nick Needham worked out on the side, as did Tanner Conner after stretching with the team. So that is an update from David Furones about what's happening here at Dolphins practice. Tanner Conner, a lot of people were surprised he made the football team because he was a little bit banged up. A lot of people thought he was going to go on IR, but he's on the 53-man roster as of right now. We also have some news, Chugs, if we could pull up that other tweet about the Dolphins practice squad signing. So I remember talking to you guys yesterday about Ben Stille being on this practice squad, and I said I wanted to make that happen. Luckily, that is happening. Ben Stille is going to be on this practice squad. Now, he was a UDFA out of Nebraska, and they signed him as a UDFA, and he looked very good in camp, in practice, but he did not get signed to the 53-man, or not get put on the 53-man roster. So Ben Stille's on the practice squad. Barry Jackson also said this: no clarity on Clayton Fagellum, Van Ginkel, or Eric Rowe. They are questionable for the opener. That coming from Barry Jackson, another injury update from camp today. So we do take a look here at the updated Dolphins practice squad. You got Braylon Sanders, Larnel Coleman, Cameron Goode, Verone McKinley III, Porter Gustin, Kalon Barnes, and you might not recognize that name because he was not with the Dolphins during training camp or in the preseason. He was with the Panthers. Now he's on the Dolphins, the fastest 40 time amongst anyone in the NFL draft. ZaQuandre White, UDFA out of South Carolina. River Cracraft, who I thought was going to make this football team, didn't. Out of he was with San Francisco last year, and then Ben Stille. So right now, as the time we're recording this video on Dolphins Live, there have been 9 people signed to the Dolphins practice squad. Still 7 open slots. Go down and grade the Dolphins practice squad thus far. Type A, B, C, D, or F down in the comment section. Go down, chime in. It is the pinned comment. Reply to it when you get a second. I want to tell you about our friends over at BetUS because football season is fast approaching, and there's no better place to get your wagers in than BetUS. Chatsports.com/bet. Promo code Dolphins125. If you put in that promo code, you can get a 125% deposit bonus. Again, Dolphins125, that's the code. And that's the link, chatsports.com/bet. There is a really big football game on, or I should say Sunday night in New Orleans between LSU and Florida State. LSU is a 3-point favorite in that game. I want to know who y'all got. You got LSU or you got Florida State? Type LSU for the Tigers or type FSU for the Seminoles. The Noles are a 3-point dog. And if you're watching this video and you're from Florida, like I know a lot of Dolphins fans are, if not most Dolphins fans, then you either love Florida State or really hate Florida State if you're a Gator or Hurricane fan. So go down, type LSU or type FSU. Who are you going to bet on Sunday night? Now let's talk about our next story because the Dolphins team captains have been named. We heard this news earlier today. I'm excited to show you who are the 7 team captains for the 2022 Dolphins season. Would you look at that? Tua Tagovailoa is a team captain for the first time in his career. Year number 3, finally gets the nod to be one of the 7 captains on this football team. Jevon Holland, in his 2nd season, which is wild, is a team captain. Tyreek Hill in his 1st season with the Fins, he's a captain, as well as Teron Armstead in his 1st season in Miami. X is a captain, not a surprise. He obviously very much deserves it, as well as Elandon Roberts and Christian Wilkins. That rounds out our list here. So 7 captains for the Dolphins in the 2022 season. Really happy for Tua, really excited for Tua. Here's what Mike McDaniel said about kind of the selecting process, or at least he said this about the team captains. You're seeing the representatives chosen by the players to be their leaders, and to me, there's nothing more important than that. Good for Tua Tagovailoa, man, because he got ridiculed last year when he's like, man, how are teammates not voting him to be a captain? How are coaches, Brian Flores, not voting him to be a captain? But he very much deserves it, and it really shows how in the team is on Tua Tagovailoa. They believe in him. He's the leader of this football team, the leader of this offense. Good for Tua Tagovailoa. He's a captain for the first time in his NFL career. He's a captain, so I want y'all to go down and type Uno down in the comments below because that is the nickname that Cheetah gave to Tua. He's calling him Uno. We're going to call him Uno as well. Go spam Uno in the chat to show some love to the new Dolphins team captain. Let's get to this as well because we do have an update on Jalen Waddle. We talked about him yesterday. Talking about him again today because Mike McDaniel had a press conference earlier and he addressed the injury, I should say rumors that we've heard surrounding Waddle about him maybe not being available for the first game against New England. Here's what Mike McDaniel said. I'm very, very confident that he is going to play. it was being proactive and cautious. He was one of the most impressive players on our entire team coming back from the offseason program and the entire training camp. So Mike McSwaggy is confident that Penguin is going to suit up next week against the Patriots. That is good news. We heard that report from Adam Beasley yesterday, kind of giving us more specifics about what's going on with Waddle, but it's good to see, good to hear that he's expected to play because he is a ginormous weapon, and he is in for a really, really big year, too. Had a fantastic rookie season. Was one of 2 rookies with over 1,000 receiving yards in addition to Jamar Chase. So him being on the field is really big for this team, and the fact that he made CB1s look silly last year, imagine what he's going to do CB2s. Will Jalen Waddle play against the Patriots? What do you think? Type P for play or type S for sit. Down in the comments section, go down, chime in. What do you think? Is Jalen Waddle going to play against the New England Patriots? As we revisit this Adam Beasley tweet from yesterday. Jalen Waddle took another step forward in his injury recovery Wednesday and is on track to play early in the season, but there's reason to have a bit of concern for him going forward. I'm not too worried. I think Waddle's going to be fine. It was just a minor injury that he's, again, it was precautionary. Like, that's what Mike McDaniel said today as well, that it was a precautionary thing. Him being held out of the last 2 preseason games, him being held out of training camp practices. It was very precautionary. I think he is going to be just fine going forward. If you haven't already, go down, subscribe to the channel because we're bringing you guys daily Miami Dolphins news videos. If Dolphins news breaks, regardless of where I'm at the pool, on the golf course, at home, in studio, we're going to get you guys a vid. Go down and subscribe to the channel.